Do you know what your aura is? It's the first thing you share with the world. It's your vibe. Have you ever heard the phrase, vibes don't lie? It's definitely true. Your aura hides nothing and reveals all. And when you understand auras deeply, you will understand yourself and others more profoundly. You will increase your intuitive abilities. Tune into this episode to learn more about auras, how to read them, and how to interpret their colors and meanings. Hello, kindred spirits. Welcome to the Magical Mystical Divinations Podcast. I'm your host, Southern Mystic Tama P, creator of mysticdivinations.com. That's mystic with a K, by the way. I invite you into my sacred space located in the heart of East Tennessee, where I will share with you topics on inner magic, mystical insight, and navigating spirituality. And most importantly, how to use divination to enhance and improve your daily life. Grab your favorite drink and hang out with me for a spell for lighthearted insight, tips and tidbits, a lot of wisdom as we connect on a higher level. Episode 7 of Season 1, and we are talking all about our auras. An aura is an invisible energy field that surrounds every living thing, and each color of the aura has its own meaning. Our aura is our vibe, our mood, our presence, the atmosphere we create, the energy force which others notice about us before we even speak words to each other. That is what our aura is, and yes, our auras have colors. Since our aura is our vibe, do you know what your vibe says about you? I think most of us have a general idea what our vibe feels like because we project it out to others. But are we showing our true colors with the energy we project? Because in many instances, we are projecting what we are comfortable allowing others to see and know about us. But for the people who can see and read auras, they see beyond what we allow. The reality is, our auras never lie. They represent our true colors. And when we train ourselves in the ability to see and read auras, we are increasing our inner magic, our special powers. We are tapping into and increasing our psychic abilities. When you understand auras deeply, you will understand yourself more profoundly. It will serve you well to identify and know your true aura's color and meaning. It will serve you well to be able to see the auras of other people. Let me share a personal but brief story with you. When my son was around 8 to 10 years old, we were driving somewhere and he was in the back seat of my car. We were each in our own thoughts until he asked me a question. He asked, "Mom, what is that stuff I see around the trees and plants?" We were driving on a long stretch of country road with heavy vegetation on both sides of us. Thick shrubs and trees lining the roadway with open skies on a mostly sunny day. In East Tennessee, mountains, ridges, and hills are the backdrop. I looked over my shoulder at my son who was looking up at the treetops. I asked him, "What do you mean? What do you see?" He said, "You know when you look on the road in front of you and there's this wavy stuff coming up off the road?" I answered him, "That's the heat rising off of the road." He said, "Yeah, that's what I see coming off of the trees. Wavy lines like that." I knew instantly what he was talking about. I said, "Son, you are seeing the energy field surrounding the trees because they are living things, and all living things give off energy." He paused for a moment, then he said, "The road isn't a living thing." I had an answer for that too, so I explained with this. The road isn't a living thing, you are right, but there is still energy rising from the road in the form of heat, because the pavement is hot on these summer days and the air is cooler than the temperature of the road, which creates the energy you see. He said, "Yeah, I know. Our teachers have told us about that, about the hot and cold air coming together to make storms and rain." He was satisfied for a little while. Maybe he was thinking about the storms or who knows what, but I wasn't satisfied because I knew my son had a gift, which would be one of many to be discovered later. But this ability needed to be nurtured. So I said to him, "Do you know everybody doesn't see the energy field around the trees and living things? I'm amazed that you can." We talked about it for a few minutes. He wasn't too impressed with his ability, not as impressed as I was. So when we got home and got settled, I asked him to do an experiment, to look at my hand against the wall and see if he could see the same energy field surrounding my hand that he saw on the trees. I told him not to focus on my hand too much, just look at it and look a little beyond it. My son was quick to say, "I know, Mom, I'm good at those pictures where you find hidden objects." Within a mere moment, he was describing my energy field, my aura, which was a bright golden light that grew dimmer the further away from my hand. I challenged him with one more experiment. When I sat in the chair with a blank wall behind me and asked him to tell me what he saw, I asked him, do you see any colors besides the golden glow? Because our auras have colors, and you would be able to tell if I am mad or happy if you could see my aura's colors. Very quickly, my son had a reply. So I could see if you were mad before you got mad? But you would definitely be able to see the colors changing as my mood changed. How do I do that, he asked. Well, I had an answer. I said, look at the layers of the aura. See how it's brighter closer to my body? Now look all the way out from it, not at the actual glow, but further away. Squint your eyes and just wait to see if any color fades in and out. And there's where the colors may start to show. My son was able to see that my aura had some blue in it. But his only concern was, what does a mad aura look like? That would be a very useful tool to have in our arsenal of magical abilities now, wouldn't it? I couldn't give my young son that kind of knowledge to use against me, so I said, I guess you'll have to figure that one out for yourself. And we ended that experiment right then and there. That lesson was over for my son. But the lesson doesn't end here, not on this podcast. I'm going to give away some energy reading secrets. We are going to start with learning to see our auras. A great place to begin is with a houseplant or a friend, if you have one who will accommodate you. The subject has to be stationed against a blank wall. Look at the subject, but don't try too hard. Focus a little beyond the plant or person. Let your vision go unfocused, because that's when you will start to see amazing visions. Or just squint your eyes loosely, just a little bit. Don't try too hard. For myself and my son, we wear glasses so we can drop our glasses and not have to squint our eyes. Once you train yourself to see auras, it becomes so simple you don't have to even try. And you will be able to understand your fellow humans and yourself on a more intuitive and energetic level. You already do it on an energetic level naturally, but when you do it with knowledge, you are practically doing it on a supernatural level. Consider when you meet someone, you might feel immediately repelled or attracted to a certain person. That's because energy speaks to energy. It's an energy exchange. We exchange energy with everyone we meet. And when you feel physically and emotionally energized by someone, you are using your psychic, intuitive abilities, even if you haven't categorized it that way. Certain people will have the opposite effect, leaving you feeling physically and emotionally drained. And this is where it will benefit you to learn to protect yourself and your aura, because our aura holds and stores all of the energy we absorb and feel. That's why we need to know about our personal aura color and energy field, so that we can help heal it and protect it. You might be surprised that you will learn a little bit more about yourself than you did before you studied your aura, which that's going to always be helpful, because understanding your aura and the aura of others can help you become more intuitive. It can help you feel less drained around the energy vampires. It will help you detect dishonest people, and it will help you to understand your personality and your purpose better, because each aura is like a fingerprint, completely and totally unique. Interestingly enough, the aura is a direct connection to our soul, our highest self. Many people believe that who we are here on earth in this current lifetime makes up a small portion of our entire soul. And a lot of us believe that a part of our soul remains connected to the spirit realm even in this lifetime. In episode 6, I talked about a spiritual awakening and enlightenment. I also spoke about the Lions Gate portal, which occurs every August. And I mentioned DNA activation, which aligns with the wisdom and information that lies deep within our ancestry, that literally comes from within our molecular genetic composition, containing links to our ancestors and their knowledge through our DNA, which means our aura resonates the energy stored inside of us, which is reflected in our auric field. Auras contain information about your life purpose and assists with psychic communication. That's pretty deep, isn't it? See how important it is to know your personal aura? And to know the colors and what each color represents. I want you to get to know your aura and the energy it projects. First, you may need to learn to use your eyes in a different way. If you have ever looked at one of those magic eye pictures like my son was talking about on that day in the backseat of my car, you may have to adjust your sight in different ways until you find what works for you. But with practice, your skill level will improve. Start out with a few minutes of practice at a time so that you don't overtire your eyes. You can look in the mirror at your reflection and see if you can see your aura. Focus beyond your physical self and let your eyes get lazy and hazy, and accept the vision as it comes to you. Don't try to force it. Ask out loud for the different colors of light to come into your eye. Don't feel foolish. You will be surprised how powerful those words are by asking them out loud. You can do the same thing by holding your hand or arms out against a blank wall. You will easily be able to see the energy radiating from your hand or arm by gazing softly at the wall behind your hand. Don't focus on the background as much as the space between the hand and the background. That space is also known as negative space. That's where the aura will be when you see it, in that hazy space. Now, it may take a few times of practice to see your energy field, and it will most certainly take practice to be able to see the layers of the aura and the colors within those layers. But if you practice every day for just a few moments, your ability will improve significantly until you can see the aura and its colors, even through your blinks. It won't matter that you try to focus, you will just be able to see it clearly and concise. When you reach this stage of seeing the glow of the aura, it's time to focus on sensing the colors. This is where you will be using your third eye as much as your physical eyes. You will have to trust your intuition and allow it to guide you. In episode 5, I talked to you about your sixth sense, identifying it and strengthening it. I hope you have been practicing that as well, because now you can trust that when you sense a color and visualize it in your third eye, you will see it hazily with your real eyes. You will see these layers of colors perhaps swirling or moving, and they may be faint at first. Or maybe you will see these colors vividly. I don't know, because the colors I see are faint. But maybe the other people see them as bright as a neon sign. I really don't know. I would love it when people share this kind of information with me with their personal experiences. But anyway, it's different for everybody, obviously. And if you can't see the aura immediately, don't despair. You are probably trying too hard. Just relax and practice for short amounts of time, believing you do have the ability to see auras. And from there, you will attain the ability to read auras. Even if you aren't interested in reading them, knowing about your own is very important and can help you along your life's journey. Knowing the colors of your aura can shed light on your purpose, your life path, and your desires, and your emotional and physical well-being. When you can see these colors, the simple act of focusing on the color and how it makes you feel defines what each color means. For instance, I have a lot of blue and indigo in my aura as a primary color. A primary color is the colors we are born with that stick with us throughout our lifetime. Even though our emotions and moods cause the colors to change, the primary colors remain. For me, it's the blue and indigo colors that are visible. Not only have I seen blues in my aura, or my son saw the blues in my aura, I had an aura photography done and it confirmed all of the violets and blues. But when I'm looking at my aura and I see the blue, I feel very intuitive and creative, and I always feel called to share my gifts. I feel satisfied when I see the blues. That indicates I am in a calm mood. Now, in episode 5, we discussed our sixth sense and the clairs, which are our extra sensory abilities. It helps to know what yours is to use your ability to sense and see the colors and sense what they mean. You can focus on this during meditation. Dedicate a little time to meditate about your aura colors. There's also a helpful quiz you can take that I will post on my blog over on the Mystic Divinations website, where you can read the statements associated with the colors and check off which apply to you. This will help you determine your primary aura colors, or if you aren't feeling objective, ask a friend to tell you which statements apply to you. After checking off the statements associated with the colors, you will know which colors you resonate with, and this will be your primary aura colors, which you will also be able to see and sense with your third eye. As an example of the color meanings, indigos are usually very physically and emotionally sensitive. They aren't afraid to shock people with their unusual viewpoints. Blues and indigos are usually drawn to teaching and sharing their gifts. Hint, hint, I love sharing my gifts, obviously. And blues are generally peaceful. Violets are more often empaths and are sensitive to the energy of others. Also, violets don't always feel like they belong here. They are also connected to the spirit realm in a psychic way. I have a lot of violet in my auric field, I was pleased to find out. I don't have much yellow in my primary colors, but the people who do have a lot of yellow as a primary color get easily absorbed in their work. They are usually driven. Being book smart is very important to the yellows. They are lifelong learners, and they want to reach their goals. Not a lot stands in their way. Now, those that have a lot of orange in their aura are usually strategic and love a good adventure. Very energetic souls, the oranges are. They can be the thrill seekers in life. As you may guess, reds are quick to anger and sometimes find it difficult to imagine things they can't see. They are usually a collector of things. They love physical activities. Most reds love physical touch and can be very passionate. So you see how you have to use your intuition when you read the colors? Does the red represent anger or passion? Trust your gut. Greens are typically very organized and love being of service to others. Greens are also usually natural healers. Turquoise, and these are often the old souls. And usually they are in positions of leadership. Turquoise are usually interested in ancient civilizations, and they are the truth seekers. Now that you have a grasp on how important knowing your aura colors are and their meanings, you need to know how to protect your aura. The simplest solution for protecting your aura is to limit your engagement with energy vampires. The draining feelings associated with the people who emotionally suck the energy from you can wear you down over time. So my advice is to set boundaries, healthy boundaries. This doesn't mean cutting people completely out of your life. Just make a conscious effort to spend less time with them. which gives you more time to take care of yourself. Don't say yes to a request when you feel like saying no. Honor your inner guidance and say no when you feel the need to. You don't need to give a lengthy explanation. Trust your gut when it tells you to say no. This is the ultimate self-care. Of course, we can't avoid everyone or every draining situation, and that's why we need to find a healing practice which helps us to recover and bounce back. Meditation is a great form of a healing practice, as is visualization, and both of those work very well together. Also, working with crystals or essential oils are very therapeutic. Getting out in nature, taking a walk, looking around at the scenery, or maybe painting or dancing or singing with intentions. These are great ways to bounce back and heal. I mean, it's up to you. But grounding yourself is very, very important, and this one will be brought up in depth in a future episode. There are several ways to cleanse your aura when you've been around something unfavorable for a while. It begins with hydration and healthy food. Eating and drinking with purpose and intention. Anything you do with intention is like using magic. There are breathing techniques that can help with cleansing your aura. Herbal smoke, such as sage and incense. I also recommend and love sound healing, which can be forms of making music, singing along with music, or relaxing to music. It also includes humming or chanting or even reciting affirmations. I use several of these methods often for myself. Remember when I talked about all the tools we can use to enhance our intuition and inner magic in episode 4? Some of those same tools, such as crystals and pendulums, can be used to cleanse your aura. Or maybe you'd wish to see a Reiki master or a chakra healer. Just be sure to look at the reviews on these practitioners before setting an appointment. I want you to see auras as a gateway to understanding subtle energy and using it. This will help you feel more in tune with your energy and interpreting the energy from others. It will deepen your spiritual beliefs and enhance your life's journey, and enable you to be in true alignment with your purpose. Let me know if you can see auras. Share with me your experiences on how you learned about seeing or reading auras. Once again, I want to thank you for spending half an hour with me. I hope I gave you some tidbits and tips to help you along your way. Be sure to subscribe and share or recommend my podcast. Your support is much appreciated. Blessed be. This has been a Mystic Divinations podcast. I am your host, Tama P. Be sure to visit my website, mysticdivinations.com. That's mystic with a K. Or follow any of my social platforms. Thank you for your support.